Welcome to Ion Hermosa Beach. It's election season here in Hermosa, and because of that, we invited in some local residents to talk about what they see as the main issues. We also then invited in all 5 city council candidates to respond to those concerns and also provide them with a platform to speak directly to the voters. We hope that you learn a lot through this process.
What's up, Hermosa Beach? Jani Lange here. 47 years old, born and raised in Hermosa, and I am stoked to be here talking to you, answering any questions that the community has. My parents still live in town. My mom, my dad, my brother, my wife's a kindergarten teacher here of more than 15 years. She's probably taught some of your children. My kids, my daughter's a Maricosta cheerleader. My son's in 8th grade. My little guy is going to 2nd here at Vista, which I went to school there when it was North School. And I like to tell everybody that I graduated from the University of Hermosa Beach. Why? Because I fell in love with all things ocean. Everything that you've heard about Hermosa Beach, whether it's the volleyball, the surfing, the skateboarding, the music, were all influences that allowed me to craft my professional life, which has allowed me to live here in Hermosa Beach, give that experience to my family, to my children, and I really want to continue to provide that experience for the citizens of Hermosa Beach. So thank you for listening. I'm looking forward to answering your questions and meeting everybody. So thank you for bringing that to my attention, because it has been a reoccurring conversation as I walk the neighborhoods and listen to the residents. So when I hear it repeatedly, I know that there's something that needs to be addressed. I will first start with my working relationship with city staff and city manager as a 3rd-term, 10-year Parks and Rec with the city of Hermosa Beach. My personal experience, I have never had any issues within the Parks and Rec department. Everything that we have brought to the table has been considered and has been accomplished in a timely manner. I'd like to use, for example, the Rams draft as one that I feel is a glaring example of how collaborative work within government and talking and listening can prove to be successful and benefit the city, elevate our profile, and give a nice economic boost to everybody in the downtown ecosystem. So what happened was Rams came to town after the deadline for the special event. Staff denied it not once but twice. Myself and it was brought to my attention to help some stakeholders in town. We went and talked to the city manager. We explained why we think this is beneficial, why it takes priority and precedence over existing projects. She considered it. As a result of a sound, logical explanation, she prioritized the Rams draft. Unfortunately, had to put some other projects on hold, and that is not fair to the process, but because of the opportunity that we recognized, we advanced it, staying true to the process. It still followed all the necessary processes, and at the end of the day, we had the entire football world looking at Hermosa Beach on the sand in a time of year that typically there's not many tourists coming in April. So we gave our downtown business culture and ecosystem a nice little boost of influx of cash. And hopefully people wanted to come from the East Coast, visit Hermosa Beach during the summer as a tourist destination. So thank you, Rams. And there's nothing harder than when the good old days change, particularly change abruptly. City Hall has been, what's the word I'm looking for? There have been locks put in certain parts of the facility. Now that is because of the homeless that has been, the homeless situation, should I say. Whether it's the community center or whether it's City Hall. We do have a large amount of homeless that do like to use the public facilities. That's why there's locks on there. It's been brought to my attention that the other locks throughout City Hall are a result of safety concerns and as a response to that. I'll give you a situation. This was probably about 2 years at the community center. A homeless person came in, went to the 2nd story, lifted up a bench while staff was working and was threatening to throw it at them. And that is just one example why the city has had to take those precautions and make it safer for staff and residents. It's very uncomfortable when you go into the bathroom and it doesn't feel safe. I've been in that situation. Optics doesn't look good. Nobody likes, to lock everything down, but I strongly believe it's only as a result of the current homeless situation plus keeping our staff safe. I love to hear that. I was at farmer's market and a couple of 7th graders came over and asked me the same question. I looked them in the eye and I said, I grew up here. I remember what it was like being your age. This town changed my life. I want to make sure that you have that same experience. That is why. My resume, as I've grown up, my civic resume is very robust and I'm very proud of it. Board of Directors for Leadership Hermosa Beach. Award recipient for Emerging Leader. Board of Directors Chamber of Commerce. Board of Directors South Bay Board Writers Club. 3rd term, 10th year Parks and Rec Commissioner, and I feel that my staff and myself have accomplished several amazing things that have elevated the cultural perspective, celebrated our culture, elevated the profile of Hermosa Beach, and have brought revenue to town time and time and time and time again. And if you'd like to ask those questions, give examples, I will gladly. I've also sat on the Citizens Oversight Committee for the fire department transition. I sat on the Measure S Citizens Oversight Committee to monitor the budget for the money that that Measure S gave the community. I just like giving back, man. And particularly, I dig being a coach. I'm a surfer first, and through my kids and through this community, I found a new love for baseball, basketball, football, and once again, these are all at our fingertips. The Clark Field, the gymnasium. I hung out there when I was a kid. I played in that gymnasium, and every element that we just talked about, whether it's Clark Field, has a historical component. The gymnasium has a historical component to the Carrie movie. I mean, we are surrounded by these cultural treasures that, believe it or not, are recognized worldwide and have made a difference in people's lives. And I can tell you stories where I've been traveling internationally and people, despite a language barrier, ask about Hermosa Beach with the biggest smile on their face. We're famous. Everybody's looking at us. And I take that with significant amount of responsibility. If entrusted to serve the citizens of Hermosa Beach, I will do it with integrity. I will celebrate our culture, and I'll make sure it's done with respect to our residents. I want to be the voice for those citizens who can't be heard. I want the citizens to come in during city council meetings and know that they've got a friendly face. Public speaking is scary. Going into public chambers is scary. And I lead by example. For the last 10 years, you can see how I've run my commission meetings. I make everybody feel welcome. I want to continue doing that. I get nervous speaking all the time, even when I go address council. Sometimes my voice will crack. I'm a human being, man. So since I've been on that other side, I want to make sure everybody feels welcome, because this is our community.
We wanted to thank everybody who participated in our show. We hope that all of you learned a lot at home. We want to make sure that you get out and vote. And thank you for watching Eye on Hermosa.